God bless you guys, and have a happy day, I guess, because we are going to talk about the first 5 episodes that I've seen from The Chosen. This is an absolutely amazing series, and I do have to forewarn before the video starts that a lot of these characters that were in The Chosen, a lot of what happens is creative liberties. So we don't excessively know that the characters had the backstories that the Chosen writers had given them, but I don't know. It gives us a idea. Maybe it could have happened. We don't know. So just getting right into the video because I'm really excited about this. Episode 1 was mainly a background story. You know, just something to set the scene. And I gotta say, they did ancient Jerusalem underneath the control of the Romans amazingly. They really set up, through the story itself, the frustration and hatred that the Jews had toward the Romans. And mainly the focus was on 2 characters in this episode. Mary Magdalene and Nicodemus. And this was basically like before Jesus became public. In this episode, we also see a lot of the religious beliefs that they had before Jesus came onto the scene. We see Nicodemus talking to a whole bunch of other members of the Sanhedrin and stuff like that. And I gotta admit, yes, this is amazing. All of the backstory that they have, and especially the character story arc that they have for both Nicodemus and Mary Magdalene. Because when Nicodemus starts out, he meets Mary Magdalene, and that's when he starts to be on the fence about his power and about everything that he knows as his religious belief. In the end of the first episode, when Jesus saves Mary Magdalene from being demon-possessed, oh my gosh, it was just such an amazing scene. One of my favorite parts about it is it wasn't, like all this, like a whole bunch of powerful thunder rolling and waves crashing and stuff like that. It was just simple. He walks up to her, places his hands on her head, and boom, that's it. Oh my gosh, it's just like, it's simple, but it's amazing because it's simple. And then, along comes Nicodemus because he has heard about, Mary being saved from being demon-possessed, and again, he really starts to question if he's in the right place and if he's, like, really where he's supposed to be religiously. In episode 2, we also, I believe, get our first look of Simon Peter and his brother Andrew. And of course, as is portrayed, they are fishermen, and I do love the one thing that I love in The Chosen. The creative liberties allow us to experience the disciples even more than what we've seen in like previous Bible stories, like Nest Entertainment and the Son of God movie. It's amazing. One of the things again that I love about The Chosen is that it's not like you're watching a movie in front of your eyes. No, it's like the characters and everything in this series. It's like you are actually in this series. You're actually like experiencing and talking to these characters. I mean, it's just like, it's insane. I love The Chosen because it's relatable. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. We also see Matthew, and I gotta admit, I never thought of Matthew the way I did until I saw The Chosen. Again, creative liberties. We don't know exactly what the disciples were like, but it gives us a head scratcher, if you will. It doesn't give us an answer, but it gives us something to scratch our heads about. In The Chosen series, Matthew is portrayed as basically a no one to the Jews. Everyone hates him because he is a tax collector. And the only thing in the entire series that he can relate to in this point is a stray dog. I mean, in the episode Shabbat, he doesn't even have anyone to have it with. He just sits in the streets and eats with his dog that he takes in. And I gotta admit, I kind of like this version of the character. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's just the kid grabs my attention. in this point, he is portrayed as a little uncertain as to, like, what's exactly going on, especially when he is hired by the Romans to keep an eye on Peter. We'll get to that in a bit. And, of course, Jesus teaching the Chosen in episode 3 was just, it was amazing. I loved it. I mean, in this series, when he teaches the children first, I mean, this is like, it's almost like a spiritual act, because, I mean, as he says, the people, when he is, you know, like, saving them, have to come to him as, in faith, as, like, a little child. And it's just like, oh my gosh, the interactions that these kids have with this adaptation of Jesus, oh my gosh. Heads up, I'm probably going to say the word oh my gosh throughout, like, basically the entire video, but it's just like, this was so good, and it's just like, dang. Why I love this episode so much, I don't know, it's just hauling me away. It's just the interactions and the amount of relative stuff, it's just, dude. Yeah! And needless to say, this adaptation of Simon Peter kind of got himself into a mess in episodes 2 and 4. In episode 2, he needs to settle a whole bunch of taxes that he needs to, you know, settle and pay so he doesn't go to prison. So what does he do? He makes a deal with the Romans and agrees to work on Shabbat to do what? Seek out to arrest other fishermen who are fishing in the night to catch their fish so that they can fulfill Peter's taxes. But that doesn't go so well, and Peter gets himself into an even bigger hole. So what does he do? He goes out alone into the night to try to fish all night, but nothing. Even his brother Andrew and other people who he was trying to prevent from being arrested, Zebedee and his sons, James and John, even come to help him, and nothing. So at this point, all hope is lost for the character, and he's starting to actually legitimately lose faith. But then he meets Jesus on the shore, and everything changes for him. I mean, just how amazing this is, right?
I told you. I told you. I told you.
And then we come to episode 5. And this one is just so jam-packed full of joy, and it's incredibly amazing. And it's the first episode that we see Thomas. Now, in The Chosen, he is depicted as some kind of a person who worked with, winemakers. And something that I like, he is depicted as the guy who, sees every angle, who he basically, he's that kind of a guy who has a mental checklist, like crossing everything off, everything has to be perfect, and nothing can have the slightest disturbance. Otherwise, he won't be able to comprehend. And I love that! But there was just so much joy with the wedding, and Jesus turning the water to wine, and just like, the friendly banter between the disciples and stuff like that.
They're dancing to the song of Miriam, and we thought you wouldn't want to miss it.
Of course. Let's the three of us show them how it's done, huh?
I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why?
Andrew has 4 left feet.
4? Why 4?
When he tries to dance, he looks like a donkey walking on hot coals.
Oh, Andrew, you deny it?
I've never seen a donkey walking on hot coals.
If you guys have seen my DuckTales reboot review, I also did something very interesting. I did my favorite characters that were, of course, my favorite character, the overall best character of the series, and the character that had the best character development. And I'm going to do that again with this series. So, for my favorite character, I mean, aside from Jesus, because, why not? Actually, I think I have to go with Matthew. Just because, like I said, the kid grabs my attention for some reason. I like the whole, no one likes him at first story arc, but then, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what happens when he joins the other disciples. I have heard that Peter is a little bit on the fence about Matthew joining. Because, he was the whole reason why he was in the mess in the first place. But I do want to see how Matthew progresses when he joins Jesus' side, because he's already witnessed the miraculous catch of fish. So, I definitely want to see what will happen to the character. Hands down, absolutely, without a doubt, from the episodes that I've seen so far, the character that I award for the best character development has to go to Peter. Just because of everything that the character goes through, all of that, that mess that he went through, and then just, oh my gosh, that one scene in episode 4 when Jesus calls him to follow. Oh my gosh.
My brother and the baptizer. You are the Lamb of God, yes?
I am.
Depart from me. I am a sinful man. You don't know who I am and the things I've done.
Don't be afraid, Simon.
I'm sorry. We've waited for you for so long. We believe, but by faith, I'm sorry.
Lift up your head, fisherman.
What do you want from me? Anything you ask, I will do.
Follow me.
I will.
My gosh, what a comeback. But hands down, of course, to no one's surprise, the best character in The Chosen is, of course, Jesus. This, oh my gosh, like I said, he also is my favorite character, aside from Matthew, but oh my gosh, just this adaptation of Jesus is unlike anything that I've ever seen before, and it is, of course, his story, and I love it. Like I said, again, one thing that I like about The Chosen is it's not just Jesus, it's also the disciples that kind of also, in some cases, take the spotlight. And I love this, and I love the adaptation that Angel Studios has brought forth of the amazing best story in the world. So there you guys have it. There is my review of the first 5 episodes of The Chosen. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing more of the series in the future. Oh my gosh. But please, Give a like to this video if you like this kind of content. I am certainly glad that I added it to the content on my channel. Share with your friends if you like, and make sure to subscribe to not miss out on my future videos. And with all that said and done, respectful eye guys out there, peace out, and I'll see you later in the week.